I'm Karim. I'm 60. I am in Manhattan right now in Hell's Kitchen. I have absolutely no memories of Egypt. We left to Algeria when I was 1, and then from Algeria to Rome when I was 2. What I like about my upbringing is there was no singular home. So I didn't get attached to anywhere. Even now, I've been 27 years in New York, and I don't feel New York is my home. So my father was Egyptian and set designer for film and television, and a painter, an artist. My mother, she was an English teacher and brought up 3 children. And I have an older brother who's an architect, a very well-known architect and well-respected. And I have a younger sister, about 9 years younger than me, who's actually a musician and a painter. When I was 12, I painted my room yellow and orange, and I had a beautiful alarm clock radio from Dieter Rams Braun that was in orange, and I had a stereo that was all high gloss white. And I loved all these objects. I loved pure, strong colors and simplicity, and a kind of minimalism too. And even when I went to my prom in high school, I got a custom-made pink satin suit produced, and I dyed my hair pink. I had my nails pink, and I wore platform shoes like this, like the 70s, like that high, in purple suede. So I think I thought I was a glam rocker, you know. I think I wanted to be David Bowie or somebody like that. So. I just like the color red. And I'll tell you why. Red for me means violence. It means blood. It means aggression. One of my favorite colors, although I love color in general, is pink. So pink is very close to red. But if you add enough white into red, you make a color all of a sudden that's so sexual, so sensual, so erotic, so positive, so energetic. You look at it and you go, wow, you know? Yeah, I'm still a kind of closet architect, you know? What I mean by that is I love architecture, I love buildings. My brother and I, we went to university at the same time together, and he studied architecture, I studied industrial design. I wanted to study architecture also with him, and I didn't get in the school. They didn't accept me in the school. So they told me about a program called industrial design. I had no idea what the program, what industrial design was, frankly. But then when I got into the program, I realized, oh, but this is what I want to do. And I thought that architects design products. Why? Because I looked up to the Italians back in the day, and all the Italians, you know, the Vespa and the coffee machines, it was all designed by architects, because there was no such a thing as industrial design or industrial design education in Italy up until 1984. So imagine all those products, furniture, lighting, it was all done by architects. So I wanted to go to architecture to do products, if that makes sense, not necessarily to do buildings. So I ended up in the right place in a way. I started my career in a way in plastics. When I was 20 years old, I designed 6 phones over one summer for a telephony company in Canada called Mitel, all plastic business phones. And then I went from there to some of my first projects that I worked on. I worked in Milano in Veneto's office, and I was working on television for Brion Vega. I was working on dashboards for Fiat. I was working on a lamp for Valente. Every one of those products actually was plastic. I was working on a plastic chair, or a lot of polymers involved. And I learned a lot about polymers in my education because my undergraduate was kind of an engineering industrial design school. So it was very rigorous. I had to basically understand or learn all 16,000 different variations of the polymers. I mean, it was so I knew plastic very well. But what I started out doing, the reason I think I was always interested in polymers was only because we could make democratic products. We could make things that were very inexpensive. That little Braun alarm clock radio I had as a child, that orange plastic. Plastic is so malleable and fluid, and you can do anything with it. At the same time, you can make products that are very cheap. And I always believed, and I still believe until today, that design is not for the elite. Design is for everybody. And if you want to change the world with design, you have to touch many people's lives. My first job actually was DJing. And first job was working in a record store. And then I ended up, collecting thousands of vinyl. I had 16,000 records at some point. But my big job for many, many years, I still do it till today. I can't believe it, since I was 16, is DJing. Yeah, I still love it. And in fact, I'm waiting for this COVID to sort of die so I can just DJ some huge parties and go back to getting people to really have 4 hours of real fun. I want to see a gathering again. I miss those gatherings, I think there are many, yeah. I think one, I'm gay, which I'm not. Number one, because I paint my nails. I don't know. 2, arrogance. They think I'm very, very arrogant. A lot of people once they meet me, they say, "Oh, you're so much more humble and nice than I thought." That's number 2. Number 3, that I came from wealth. I didn't. We were very poor as a family, actually. We lived in a basement apartment in London in one room. The 4 of us slept. And, my father was having trouble making it as an artist. He never made it as an artist. So I don't know where I got this thing where I have to appease people. I mean, I wish I could if I turn the clock back, I'd just say, forget about appeasing everybody. Okay, just, but whatever. That's how that's our DNA, that's the way, a lot of times I think we have to kind of, and I've struggled with this many years, just accept who you are. And then in fact, if you accept who you are, probably you will have some success, I had to accept that I'm a little bit eccentric, or a little bit that I like color, I like form. I'm obsessed with aesthetics. Everything around me, everywhere, has to be perfect. I go to a hotel, I end up telling them to remove furniture out of the room. I tell them to I need things placed a certain way. I don't want any placards anywhere. I take them all away. It's living a very unsatisfied or life to always worry about everything being proportional and perfect and all that. But I finally let that go, in the sense of that I accepted that that's how I am. I'm completely opposite of some designers and artists, where they just have so much stuff around them and they feel that makes them creative. And I'm kind of the opposite. What makes me creative is a void, nothing, white space. And I always say the most beautiful thing, like any project, would be someone just gives you a white canvas and you're free, So I have to, even though with all the criteria in design, inside I try to pretend that I'm free. Well, I will say only one thing, is that I walk around in the world, and probably my biggest inspiration, which is probably a bit of a quirk, is I see the bad in everything. Does that make sense? So everybody says, be positive, see the good. No, I see the bad, and that makes me creative. The lack of creativity, I see so much, especially interior design. Product design is a little bit different, because product design, you have to make something contemporary if you do some product. Like if you design a mobile phone, you have no choice. It's all contemporary, right? The materials, the interface, everything is new. It has nothing to do with history, nothing to do with that. The minute you go into interior design, I don't call it interior design anymore. The whole world, all they're doing is decorating. This is called interior decorating, because design is focusing on the human experience. Interior decorating is just putting fluff. stuff. I would call it how my inner demons produced positive work. Deep down, I kind of have a perverse fantasy of starting my own city and creating my own, almost like cult in a way. I don't want to use the word cult because cult also has a negative connotation. Starting a utopian place. Yeah, I started tattooing myself when I was 32. My first one was in Toronto, and I do one every year, once a year in a different city in the world. And the symbol I pick or that I design is for that specific place that has a relationship to that place. So now I've got like 27 because I missed COVID. I never got a tattoo last year, so I missed one. So. Yeah, I have my philosophy about food is minimalism, and I never eat anything that doesn't look like the original food itself. And meaning, if it's a tomato, it has to look like a tomato, and if it's a carrot, it has to still look like a carrot. I don't know what happened to me the last 10, 15 years. I just went very simple, you know. As long as it's organic and it's fresh and it's minimal. That satisfies me very well, which makes it hard to go to restaurants. A lot of times when I go to restaurants, I don't know what's in the food. You know, I become very incredibly fussy. Organic Greek yogurt, some organic berries, raspberries or blackberries, blueberries or strawberries. And that's it. And then I make myself a double shot flat white with oat milk. I don't never eat food while I work. I want to say it would be a really good salad. I don't know. I love salad, so a nice salad, yeah, with just olive oil, a little olive oil, maybe a little bit of balsamic vinegar. That's it. Basically, I have to have the mobile phone. Second object, I think, would be probably a pair of eyeglasses because it helps me see. The third, well, I have to put some clothes on, I guess, right? So I would wear clothes, and I would make sure that those clothes are what I usually wear, which is either only white or only pink or only lime, and you know, always tight fitted and very minimal and all that. And those are my three things, I guess. Yeah. I don't have a wallet. I haven't used physical money in I don't know how long. I barely use a credit card because I use my Apple Pay on my phone. I've even traveled the world that way. And I was just in Odessa, Ukraine, and nothing, no local money, nothing. I just used my Apple Pay. I didn't, you know, and then on my phone is my, you know, vaccination card, and on my phone is my health card, and on my phone is my passport, you know. So one day we should just eliminate passports. We need to eliminate all these things because we can just do them all with our fingerprint anyway, right? So. Hundreds and hundreds of tracks. I don't know. So many tracks. I don't know. It's a mood thing. Like I love music, right? So what I do is, even sitting behind me right now, is that's an 8 terabyte flawless player. So if you burn a CD, it records it flawlessly, meaning it doesn't compress it. So it's not MP3. So sound is immaculate. And I have on there about 40 or 50 playlists. Not playlists. Playlists, I guess. And so every day when I wake up, I go put a different one on for the day. So one day I listen to 80s, 80s soul, or the next day I listen to late 70s R&B, or the next day I listen to 2020, trance or techno or hip hop or house music, goes on and on. New disco. I like so many genres. I like even soft rock. I even like, the other day I was playing for my daughter, which I love, Alice Cooper and Kiss. I learned that I like routine and I like keeping everything perfect and neat and clean, even more than I ever thought. I learned to have much more self-discipline. I mean, I I exercise minimally 60 minutes every day, 7 days a week, all the time. I learned to dance alone a lot. I I learned about how important others are to me. I learned how important it is to have human relations and to love people and to connect with them. I wanted to do something a bit positive for my friends and fans and people out there. So, and I did one thinking it was, kind of embarrassing because I looked stupid in it, and everybody really liked it and reacted very positively. So I realized, wow, people, everybody, I got so many comments, how you've cheered me up. I've been depressed from COVID, I this, that. So I decided to use that as my ammunition in a way, to send out some positive energy in the world, And in fact, that's all, my work, my physical work, my social media, what I write, everything I do, actually, I realize, is to perpetually send out sort of positive messages, to make us, while we're on this planet, feel better, let's say, about ourselves and about our world. I always wear rings. I love jewelry, but I like when it's very minimal. Like what am I wearing now? Or like a big blob on my finger, that kind of thing. That I painted my nails for 20 some odd years, so that's my other accessory, I guess. My eyeglasses, and then the rest of it is always pretty minimal, really. I like shoes, certain shoes. I really dislike laces. I dislike buttons. I just like all these really antiquated things that have been around for literally several hundred years, right? I think, honestly, most fashion brands are completely lost. Some of them make amazing quality, some nice things and all that, and great. But I get this blurring where, back in the days of, let's say, Yves Saint Laurent and Givenchy and Balenciaga and all this, the houses were producing completely different styles. So if you liked a certain style, you gravitated towards that brand, right? Today, it's such a blur. Everybody's making exactly the same thing. I started when I moved to New York. I was before that teaching Renown School of Design, and I came to New York, and I did it in high school, you see. So I thought, now that I don't really have to address anybody, I have no boss, I'll be my own boss. I'll just do what I like. This was just this morning, which is a hotel room that I was trying to think about. This is yesterday was a sketch of, because I'm designing my own house that I'm building in the woods. So this was kind of the interior, thinking about the interior space. And there's a stack of them because I do maybe every day 50 drawings a day, maybe 30 sometimes when I'm not inspired. Working out in the gym. Either. I draw anyway. If I could draw it like this in the air right now, that would be good. Early mornings. Honestly, neither. How about just land? Just like flat land. I like that. I'm Virgo. Earth. Human existence. Roots, that's a tough one. Not necessary. Fear, the number one worst trait of humanity. Everything to me. I am master of all trades and no, I'm jack of all trades, master of none. How about that? Essential, I think. Romance pink. Cyan. Oh, that's a beautiful color, actually, right? But the color that was going to come to me right away was azure. So that kind of turquoisey, bluish in that range. Tears black. Neon lime. White. As someone who inspired others. By giving me tomorrow 100 opportunities to do some very radical projects. I want to do some very radical things. I'm so tired of this banal world. This world is banal, really. 99% of it is banal. I want to see people just forget about commercialism, forget about social media, forget about all these drivers, and just do things out of passion inside them, creative acts. And again, search for something original.